Hello everyone! For today's presentation, I am going to show you a literary elements video tutorial. Let's go! Once again, hello literature lovers. I am Miss Glomilin Beloy, and today we're diving into the magical world of literary elements. Have you ever wondered why the story makes unforgettable? Of course you are. It's because of these elements. What are those literary elements, class? These are the plot, the characters, the setting, the theme, the point of view, the tone and mood, and the symbolism. Are you excited to talk and discuss about these elements, class? Okay, right. Now let's go. Okay, for number one, or the first elements that we're going to talk is the plot. What is the plot? The plot is the roller coaster of the story. What it means. So, have you ever been on a roller coaster? Anybody? Yes, some of you have ever experienced riding into a roller coaster. That's the plot. It has ups, downs, twists, and sometimes it makes you scream. The plot is the sequence of events in a story. It is typically follows the five parts or five. It has the follows the five part structure: the exposition, which is meeting the characters and the setting, the rising action, things get spicy, conflict begins, the climax, the dun dun dun, the most intense moment, the falling action, which is the things calm down, the resolution, or and they lived happily ever after, or the day. For example, in The Lion King, Simba's journey from the exile to the kinghood follows this structure. So, next time, if someone says your life is boring, just tell them you're in the exposition phase. Now, let us proceed into next element, the characterization. The characterization is the people in the story. These are the one that makes the story interesting. So the characters makes the story. Without them, books would just be very descriptive settings. So we have here the two types of characterization, the direct and the indirect. The direct characterization is the author tells us exactly what the character is like. For example, John was the bravest knight, while the indirect is uh, the author shows us through the actions. For example, John slayed the dragon without flinching. So, for example, Sherlock Holmes is directly described as observant, but we see his genius in action through deduction. So, which means if your teacher writes students is talkative on your report card, that's direct characterization. Understand? Yes. It's nice to hear, class. Now, let's proceed to number three. Now, let's go to number three. The number three is the setting. The setting is where the magic happens. So, the setting is equal time plus place. It can be as simple as a small town or as wild as far as galaxy far, far away. So, it affects mood, characters, and plot. For example, Harry Potter wouldn't be as magical if it were set in a shopping mall. So unless Hogwarts was actually in a mall food court, you're a wizard. Harry, now go to work at Panda Express. Okay, class, we are almost there. We are now in number four. Number four is the theme. The theme is the hidden message. The theme is the why behind the story. Is it about love, power, betrayal, or the pineapple pizza debates? For example, Romeo and Juliet equals love versus fate. While in the Hunger Games, it is equal to the dangers of totalitarianism and reality TV. So same as basically the story's moral lesson, minus the pop quiz, okay? Okay. Number 5, the point of view. What is the point of view? The point of view is who's telling the story. So imagine there are three people describing the same event. The first person, the second, and the third. The first person says, I punched the dragon in the face. While the second person says, you punched the dragon in the face. And the third person says, the knight bravely punched the dragon. So there are different perspectives, right? So different perspective equals different experiences. So choose wisely, writers. Okay, number 6, the tone and mood. The tone and mood is the story's vibe. So this is how the author feels, and the mood is how you feel. If a book makes you cry, scream, or contemplate life, congrats, you felt something. For example, Edgar Allan Poe's works equals creepy tone or disturbing mood. If you read Poe's The Raven and suddenly feel like dying, your hair black, the mood you are in the mood, or that's the mood, my friend. Okay? At last, guys, we are at the last elements. So, number 7, the symbolism. The symbolism is when things mean more than they seem. So symbolism is when objects have deeper meanings, like, for example, how a red rose equals love and a clock equals time running out, or also homework suffering. Homework homework is equal suffering. For example, in the Great Gatsby, the green light symbolizes Gatsby's hopes and dreams. So if you see something weirdly emphasized in a book, it's probably a symbolic. Imagine, class, we are already done with our lesson. So now let's have our quiz time to evaluate what have you learned and you understand in our lesson. Are you excited? This is very easy, guys. If you listen the lesson, so you can answer. Okay? Okay, let's proceed to the questions. Our questions are mixed questions. We have multiple choice, true or false question, short answer, or identification. Okay, all right, let's go. Okay, for the first question, who want to answer? Number 1 question is, what is the definition of a plot? Letter A, the main character. Letter B, the sequence of events in a story, the setting, or the theme. Yes, it is letter B. The plot is the sequence of events in the story. And number 2 question. The question is true or false. Let us read. A dynamic character does not change throughout the story. Is it true or false? Yeah, it is false. Because the dynamic characters undergo change. From the word itself, dynamic. And number 3, list 2 elements that contribute to setting. What are those 2? Correct. That is the time and a place. And number 4, what is the purpose of symbolism in the literature? It is to convey deeper meanings or themes. And number 5, which of the following is not a type of conflict? Letter A, character versus character. Letter B, character versus society. Letter C, character versus time. And letter D, character versus self. What is the correct answer? Yes, it is letter C, character versus time. So, okay, let's proceed. Okay, are you having fun answering our quiz, class? Very good. So, let's proceed. Number 6. In Cinderella, what element represents the theme of transformation? What element represents the theme of transformations? Yes, it is the glass slipper. And number 7, what is the most common point of view in fairy tales? What is the most common point of view in the fairy tales? Yes, it is the third person because it uses the uh, he, she, they pronoun. Number 8, what does the rose symbolize in Beauty and the Beast? Yeah, it is symbolizes love and time running out. So, number 9, who is the protagonist in the Three Little Pigs? Of course, you're familiar with this children's story. Correct. It is the Three Pigs. And number 10, what literary element describes a story's time and location? It is the setting. Very good. Okay. Okay, number 11. This is a true or false question again. So, the tone refers to how the reader feels about the story. Is it true or false? Okay, it is false because the tone is the author's attitude. It is not how he feels. So, okay, number 12. Which of these is an example of imagery? Who wants to answer? So, the answer is the forest was dark and airy with the hoot of owls in the distance. Okay, number 13. What is the central conflict in the Little Red Riding Hood? Central conflict. The answer is Little Red versus the wolf or the man versus man and the nature. So, number 14. Kagabi pa yan. In the tortoise and the hare, what is the story's theme or the message behind? Yes, it is the slow and steady wins the race. And number 15, what does a static character do? So the static character do is to stay the same throughout the story. There is no changes in character. Okay, here we go, class. We are already in number 16. Number 16, what is an example of a climax in Jack and the Beanstalk? Of course, you're familiar in this story, right? Yes. The example of climax in Jack and the Beanstalk is Jack escapes down the beanstalk with the giant chasing him. Naalala niyo pa yun, di ba? Yung hinahabol siya ng giant mula dun sa langit. Okay, number 17. What's an example of a foreshadowing in Hansel and Gretel? Foreshadowing. It is the breadcrumbs leading back home or which later disappear. So, number 18. In Rapunzel, what represents a symbol of freedom? It is her long hair. Number 19. What type of conflict is present in the ugly duckling? Type of conflict in the story of the ugly duckling. It is the character versus society. Very good. And last but not the least, number 20. What is the resolution in Goldilocks and the Three Bears? Okay, Goldilocks ran away, realizing her mistake. Okay, let's have a round of applause, class. We are already done with our lesson in our quiz. Okay, guys, congratulations. We are already done, and we, of course, I hope you enjoyed our lesson today. It is very simple and very understandable. So now, let us wrap, folks. Hope you had fun learning about literary elements. Once again, I am Miss Galomilin Beloy. So remember, every great story has a structure, deep meanings, and a little magic. So keep reading, guys. Keep imagining, and see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.